to Daily Justine Live. This is starting in about 2 minutes, so if you're watching this on YouTube, bear with me. I'm just making sure that everything's working okay. And then this starts at 10 a.m. Eastern until 10:30. And I have about 2 minutes, so excuse me, I'll start off with some programming notes. I want to let you know that I will be starting a completely different channel for Daily Justine. I anticipate that my viewership will go down drastically because of this, and but at the end of the day, I'm like flooding my second channel with this Daily Justine stuff, and there's other stuff I want to do and talk about on the second channel. I want to go back to lifestyling, go back on the starch solution. I'm sure I'll be vlogging about that with my fancy new vlogging camera. And Daily Justine really deserves its own channel. And this way, its own Twitter too, because this way I feel like I can be more myself, it's not that I haven't been myself on here. I promise I have been. But there's, I don't know. I'm just gonna make another channel for it. I've been flooding my second channel. I've been losing subscribers daily, and a part of that I expected, and a part of that was clearing the weeds, so to speak. But also, Daily Justine really deserves its own channel. It's not beta anymore. I know what I'm doing. So, good morning, AJ. Um, AJ, was that you I was talking to on Twitter about what I'm going to be talking about today? It is 10 a.m. So, good morning. Welcome to Daily Justine Live. I like to talk about the news in the morning. Uh, this is between 10 a.m. 10:30 a.m. Usually, I like to talk about the news. Today, I'm gonna expand a little bit because I want to talk a little bit more today about multiple sclerosis, about being disabled, about why do I want to talk about this? Um because this has been affecting me, and I feel like what I have been doing is pretending like it doesn't or something. It's like I've been I don't know, but it has affected me greatly. It's changed my whole life. My whole life is upside down. And there's also a couple things that make me mad about it that I'll address today. But first, I want to get to a question that AJ sent me on Twitter. That's why I'm curious if this is you, AJ. Yes, that. Oh, yes, that was you, AJ. Plus, it's your first live stream. That's awesome. Good. Um, you need to engage with others like me, AJ. Well, AJ, I did want to say to you, hold on, let me pull up your tweet. You said to me, um, um, yeah, jokes about Soundly Wake being ableist aside. I was actually joking more about his boyfriend Ken. His boyfriend was like showing off. He was like, "Oh, look at my motor skills. Look, I can hold a bag and hold a coffee." Screw him. Anyway, um, AJ said, "I have chronic tendonitis slash plantar fasciitis in my feet and possibly my knee, and I recently had to get a cane. I feel very irrationally embarrassed about it, and I've only used it in public once." And AJ says, "Do you have advice for people who question whether or not they're disabled enough, quote, to use a cane? How do I stop myself from being so embarrassed?" Uh, I felt I felt the feels with this question because I had to recently start using a cane as well, and it's ass, and it's because it sucks. It's like because you don't always need the cane, so it's like Am I really disabled? Am I just faking? Am I just this or that? Um, you've also said that you only use the cane out in public once. And I do want to say that the best way to find out when or if you need the cane is to use it, is to go out and about. For example, I know pretty much exactly when I need a cane at this point. I know I need one for stairs if there's no counterbalance. Like if um if there's a handlebar, for example, that's awesome. But if there's nothing on this side, then I need a cane because I need either another banister or I just need something to lean on. I can't. Anyway, that's what the cane's for. I use the cane to go up and down steps. Um, but it's cumbersome to use a cane up or down the steps in my house because in my house there's a banister and there's a wall going up and down the steps. So I can counterbalance with those things. I don't need the cane. uh, let's see. So it's like, are you disabled enough to use a cane? Well, first of all, I'm assuming it was prescribed to you by a doctor, meaning, or maybe not. Let me look at the chat. If you know you need a cane, oh, wrong AJ, not me. Whoops. Somebody else, somebody else named AJ asked me this question on Twitter, so that's really funny. Um, Uno Soro asked, "Wait, are you and Nick still friends and such?" I love the videos with you too, but I don't have to answer. Look, we're friends. It's just he lives all the way in California, so I don't get to see him very often. Going back to what I was talking about, AJ, I can't believe that this is a different AJ. I thought this was you. I was talking to you like you were this person. That's okay. Um, when do you need a cane? When you need one. You know what the cane is, or any assistive device like this walker I have here. This is they're to help me function. That's what it's for. It's not like a symbol. It's not like a symbol like a static symbol. Like, oh, I use this, so this means I'm disabled forever. No, the walker serves a purpose. The walker right now I use to help me get up out this chair because it's low. My cane I use just like for balance, you know. And there's some situations where there is no counterbalance for me and I can't do it. For example, when I was that video where I was hanging out with Nikki and Ken, we went to the mall. There was no way I could go down the escalator. Absolutely no way. Because it just wasn't going to happen. So I got to use the elevator, and it's just, it's disabled life. Um, have I pimped out my cane yet? Nah, but I got to do it because Halloween's coming up. I have a plan for what I'm going to do with it on Halloween. I'm going to, I'm assuming, what is it? It's today the 11th already? Today's the 12th. So, I'm assuming I'm still going to need it by Halloween. I was hoping I wasn't. But anyway, yeah, so that's the deal with using a cane and assistive devices. They're really just there to help you function. It doesn't mean you're going to need them forever. It doesn't mean that you're disabled forever because you got to use one. It could be just for just now. So if you're dealing with something like plantar fasciitis, which sucks, by the way, I know my stepmom has that, or multiple sclerosis or whatever, it could just be temporary. It's just something you use to help you go up and down the stairs or to help you balance or to help you whatever. It's hard to think of it that way. Good. Awesome, perfect. Romney Mitz here, and Romney Mitz says it sucks. One day you need the help, other days you don't. Makes you feel like a faker. I should carry around my MRI. It's true. Yeah, there's some days, sometimes I don't need my cane at all. And this was a part of the response I sent AJ on Twitter too, because other people aren't going to understand. Other people going to judge. So don't let other people have anything to do with this equation of whether or not you need to use a cane. because there's times when I can't explain it. You gotta use the cane to know when you need it, but like it's like I would need one to um how do I explain? I don't know. Like one moment I'll need it, the next moment I don't need it, and that's how it is. It's not like a static, you need one or you don't. Some moments I need it, some moments I don't. And that's all it comes down to. I can see about feeling like a faker in the moments when you don't need it. It's like you have it with you, so you feel like you should use it because I have it with me. If I leave the house, I have it with me. And then it's like so people see me with a cane, so I feel like I should be using it even if, I don't need it in every second of every day. When I don't need it is in the house. I don't need it here. It's downstairs by the door for when I leave because there's like I know the house. I know what I can lean on. I furniture walk. I can do that here because I know the house. I can go up and down the stairs without it. I can but some moments you don't need it. So like I leave the house, I needed to go down the steps. I may or may not need it to walk to the car. I'm I don't know. Some days I do, some days I don't. There's no I wish I could explain. But these are the things that um, change all of a sudden sometimes with MS, and I get mad sometimes because I feel like all right. So I've learned recently that Jamie Lynn Sigler has MS. She played the daughter in The Sopranos, and she started a new campaign with Biogen. Um, it, I forget the name of it, but it's like I have MS. MS doesn't have me type of thing. And in the meanwhile, Jamie Lynn, since she was diagnosed when she was 20, she's enjoying an active life. She has a husband. She has a son. She never stopped working because it's just these are the stories of MS that you hear about in the media. People that have MS and they go anyway. They're still able to work, they're still able to whatever. Um and it's really hard for me because this is like these are the people that are portrayed on TV with MS have a different type of MS that I find myself with now. Nowadays it's like um it's progressed. I need assistance to there are days, don't get me wrong, if I didn't have the cane, this is what I mean. Like it helps you be more independent. If I didn't have a cane, I would need somebody's help to walk. I would need to lean on them. I would probably need two people, one on each side. And they better be strong because I'm not petite. And it's anyway, it's just hard. Like I'm dealing with this, and then I got to deal with the media that insists on portraying MS as, oh, it's no big deal. Look, you can still do everything anyway. And it's also annoying. Another annoying thing to me is to see somebody like Jamie Lynn talking about MS because how do I put this without making myself cry right now? I get jealous of people with MS that already have a family that um see because the situation I find myself in now is like it's funny. It's funny because for a long time I had a huge cock block, so to speak. Because I was big. Now then I wasn't big anymore, and it's and I talked about this in a video that I have on here called "Pros and Cons of Losing 140 Pounds." And I was having a tough time dealing with all the attention I get from men. Now I gotta walk around with a cane. Talk about a cock block. I mean, I have no idea how I'm gonna meet anybody, how I'm ever gonna have a family one day, how I'm. So I get jealous of seeing people on TV portraying multiple sclerosis that have a less aggressive type of MS, who are and who already have these things in their lives. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking about this a lot, like this past week or so. Since I found out Jamie Lynn has MS, this has been a heavy in my heart, so to speak, and I've been kind of unable to think about or talk about the things I like to talk about on here because like I'm just so um yeah, Romney Mitt knows what I'm talking about. Romney Mitt says, "Oh JP, I hate those stories so much. Look at me. I have MS and I'm doing great." I hate that too. Um yeah, there's a horrible Tech Federa commercial. And it's like if I have a message for out there, it's that MS is actually really horrible. And these people that are on TV because they're doing everything because they have relapse remitting MS, guess what? That shit's gonna progress one day. And then those people aren't gonna be on TV anymore, I promise. That's what happens. It's because MS is mean, and in the beginning, like the first decade or so, you have the illness and you have it real bad, then it goes away. It goes away. It's like you get to forget that you even have it. And then one day it doesn't go away. And that's what it's like. It's a really crappy illness. And then we got TV pressuring us to do everything that everybody else does anyway. It's really infuriating to me. And I'm trying to cheer myself up. Here I am talking about the most depressing thing ever. Trying to cheer myself up. I can't cheer myself up because of the reality of my situation. And I've also got a media that insists on saying that MS is okay, a diagnosis isn't that big of a deal, um, it doesn't have to change your life, I have MS, it doesn't have me. Try telling yourself I have MS, it doesn't have me, the day that you can't work your job anymore. That doesn't work. You know, that um well, actually, Lauren Jackson just said something serious. I'm scared of how I'll be able to support my dad when his MS gets bad. He has that military pride. I'm sorry. That's hard. It's hard for you know everybody. I'm sure your dad also doesn't want to put that burden on you. That's another thing with MS that is not talked about in the I have MS, it doesn't have me talk. It's like, why don't we talk about, it's kind of hard to, like all this feel good literature that's like, you have MS, it doesn't have you, you're not a burden, how do you tell yourself that you're not a burden when you kind of are? I mean, it's, Romney Mitt says that Neil Cavuto said that having cancer was not as bad as having MS because there's no end game with MS. That's the thing. There's no end game. You don't know when it's gonna get better, if it's gonna get better. It tends to the gets worse over time. It's a progressive illness. It's as a person with MS, it's hard to feel good. It's hard to feel good, especially as, like I said, I I'm getting Romney mad. I hate that. I have MS. It doesn't have me. F you with that comment. Seriously, it's like, and then I have to feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'm upset about the fact that I have it. Then I have to be. That's the thing. It's like you got so many people telling you that you're inspirational and you're um. I inspire everybody. Really? Because most mornings I wake up, kind of wish it didn't. It's really like it's hard to deal with. And I'm not sure if I have been. Some things I am glad about. I am glad that um I'm glad that I can do daily Justine now. I'm gonna be like I said in the beginning. It's gonna be on its own channel next week. Don't worry, you guys will know all where to go. And I just feel like it's a I don't know. It changes everything. I'm glad about that. I'm glad I'm not working at the mall this holiday. Um, but I'm not sure how to handle this. I'm still in shock. This I feel like this I've had MS for over 10 years now. But I still feel like this just happened. The problems I've had with my legs that didn't get better, that my last relapse was in July. So it's been July. I've been trying to accept this and I can't because see what happened with me was I did get a little bit better since July, but it's like wait, is this as good as it's gonna get or with like that's what I've been dealing with. And my neurologist is like everything's like wait and see, it's like so all right. Wow, Romney Mitt is going crazy in the I really wish you guys could read the chat in the YouTube video because he's letting out some truth right now. Romney Mitt had a conversation um with his neurologist. She scolded you for beating himself up. Um, he hates that. Look at me. I'm such an inspiration, brave. Um, yeah, there's a lot of pressure to be like an inspiration, to be brave, to be like though I have MS, but it's okay because everything's okay. No, it's not. I wish I could go back to my job. I I wish I could start running again. It's funny because when I think about it, it's not like I was ever like super excited to go to work or go on a run. But I think as people, what we really like is just being productive and being and to contribute to society somehow, some way. So now I can't. Now I have to find a new way of doing that, I guess. And and it's like um I've been having a hard time dealing with it. And actually it was bothering me so bad the past day, this morning, that I knew I couldn't make my stream about anything other than that because this is a reality. That this is where I find myself today. Um and it sucks. Um yeah, it's hard to deal with to begin with, and then it's hard to deal with I'm also supposed to be some kind of inspiration, like some kind of If I have a message about MS, it's that it sucks. That's my message. That is that it's a terrible disease, and if you know somebody with MS, the best thing that you can do um is to be there for them practically, meaning um does does this person need anything from the store? Has the um I don't know. There's not much you can do. There's not much the person with MS can do. There's not much, the disease has a mind of its own. I do believe there are some things we can do to help, like trying to stay de-stressed, trying to stay hydrated, but at the end of the day, MS is in control. I have MS, it doesn't have me or whatever. It's not true. I'm sorry. Um, I'm not an inspiration. Please tell these people to go away. I'm like depressed. Yeah, be supportive. Be I don't even know. This is like such a depressing broadcast. I'm sorry, but I couldn't make this about anything else. I do want to talk about how since about 2014, things have really kind of not been that great and leveled off for the 0.01%. um, since I'm gonna talk about that. There's a lot to talk about. This is what I'm getting at. I used to love doing this. I used to love watching the news. I used to love thinking about it, drawing my own conclusions, and it was a dream to talk about the news in the morning in a show. And it never happened because I was always working. Now I'm not working, and I wish I was. And I'm like, this is like there's lots for me to talk about and to be interested in, but oh my god, I just can't get past this. You know, maybe I need like a really bad winter to get me feeling grateful that I don't have to go to work in the snow. I don't have to I don't know. Hey, what's up, JR? Thank you for coming. Why don't I focus on the chat at this point? There's 5 minutes left, and I'm like depressing everybody. I gotta change gears here. This is let me scroll up. There were some things in the chat I missed. Um but Lauren Jackson, if you're still here, um your dad, I'm sure, is uh just as worried as you. And I don't want you to like there are resources out there. It's not like meaning your dad will be able to collect Social Security. He'll be hopefully. um. Oh, good, Lauren. I'm glad you're still here. But your dad, don't worry too much because it's one of those things that I've talked about this before. It's like there's some things that you just can't prepare for. Some things you just cannot prepare for because you have no idea what it's going to look like or and that to be honest, the thing is with your dad, it's probably if he becomes seriously disabled, it's probably not going to happen overnight. It's going to there'll be like it's not just going to happen like one day he's going to wake up unable to move. It might happen, but what's likely going to happen is over time things slowly get a little worse. That's really what happened with me. I sit here and talk about my relapse in July like it was an out of the nowhere thing that just randomly happened. Not really, because I didn't really get over my relapse before that in 2015 either. I was having problems with my legs. I was unable to run for nearly about a year and a half before this happened. So it's not like it's just gonna happen. You'll have time. Um, but but it is hard to, and then you deal with the things as they come. You can't prepare for this. This is something I've realized. If I have one message, can't prepare for it. I mean, it's probably a good idea to prepare by having money saved up. It was very hard for me for a few months while I was waiting for to know if I was going to be on Social Security. That took a few months. Um, but nobody has money saved. Nobody has money saved. So, um, oh my God. So, okay, Romney Mitts, thank God, talking about something very funny. There's a video that's viral right now of clips from the debate where Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are singing "Time of My Life" to each other. It's so funny. thank thank God that he talked about that, because yes, life is taken one day at a time, truly. That's how this has been for me. It's been one day at a time, and it's frustrating because it's hard to communicate that with people. Like, "Oh, hey, what's going on with you?" "I don't know. I'm taking it one day at a time." It's hard to that is hard to explain to people, but and some people don't find that satisfactory, but it's how it is. One day at a time. MS is one of those things, and if you find to anybody who's finding themselves needing a cane or whatever for whatever reason, it's just for today, one day at a time. Today, right this moment, you need it. Tomorrow, you might not need it. Who knows? And that's just how it is. Yes, everybody look up on Google or YouTube Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, time of my life. It's so funny. Um, yeah, that's okay. JR says, I get depressed every now and then, so I just try to do what I can and keep pushing. I mean, that's all it is. If that's like inspirational, if that inspires you, cool. It's just, our reality. We kind of don't have a choice other than to deal with it. I mean, what's the other option? There ain't none. So, um, insert corny Annie song. All right, it's 10:30, so I'm gonna conclude this. I'm sorry about this cast. I'll have more information about the new Daily Justine channel soon. I'm gonna start doing this on the new Daily Justine channel on Monday, so you guys will be informed. Dylan says, "I'm so hungover today. I'll keep pushing too." Yeah, it's the same thing. I remember being hungover at work. Oh my God. The things I used to do. Wow. All right. Thank you guys. And I'll be back tomorrow 10 a.m. through 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Have a good day.